Ice baths, once a chilling thought for many, are now the hottest trend in Singapore. Welcome to the frosty world of cold plunges, where Singaporeans are turning up the chill factor for the sake of wellness. What was once considered a jarring jolt to the system is today a rapidly growing trend, with individuals willingly immersing themselves in icy waters, all in the name of health and vigor. Imagine the sensation. The cold water envelops you, your breath catches in your chest, and for a moment, your world narrows down to the icy grip of the water. Then, as you adjust, an overwhelming feeling of aliveness sweeps over you. This is the allure of the ice bath, a practice that has journeyed from the training rooms of elite athletes to the daily routines of everyday Singaporeans. The reported benefits of this chilling ritual are as diverse as the people who partake in it. Some find it refreshing, like a cold shower on a sweltering day, only amplified. Others report feeling a surge of energy, their bodies awakened by the shock of the cold. And then there are those who find a sense of focus, their minds sharpened by the icy embrace. But it's not just about the immediate sensations. Many believe that ice baths offer long-term benefits that go beyond the physical. The cold water, they say, is a catalyst for resilience, a way to train the mind and body to withstand stress and adversity. And while this might sound like a chilly proposition to some, for a growing number of Singaporeans, it's a practice that's worth the initial shiver. Yet, like any trend that captures the public imagination, there are questions. Are ice baths a wellness fad, or do they offer genuine benefits? How do they affect our mental health? And most importantly, are they safe? As the mercury rises, so does the desire for a cold plunge. But beyond the refreshing chill, could there be deeper mental health benefits? Let's explore these frosty waters further in the next segment. Diving into the icy depths triggers a fascinating physiological response in our bodies. When we expose ourselves to freezing water, our bodies undergo a rapid series of changes, a biological symphony, if you will. The initial shock of the cold sends our nervous system into overdrive, kick-starting a host of reactions. One of the first things that happens is the release of adrenaline, also known as the fight-or-flight hormone. This sudden adrenaline surge can lead to an increase in heart rate and blood pressure, making us feel more alert and energized. Alongside adrenaline, our bodies also release cortisol, a stress hormone. In moderate amounts, cortisol helps our bodies manage and respond to stress by altering immune system responses and suppressing the digestive system, the reproductive system, and growth processes. This complex natural alarm system also communicates with regions of your brain that control mood, motivation, and fear. But the hormonal roller coaster doesn't stop there. The icy plunge also triggers the release of endorphins, our body's natural painkillers. These brain chemicals act as a sort of internal opiate, giving us a sense of euphoria and well-being. They're the same chemicals that give us that much coveted runner's high. So in a way, taking a cold plunge can be like a supercharged express version of a long, sweaty run. Now here's the really interesting part. Regular exposure to cold water can potentially lead to an increase in the production of a certain type of protein called cold shock proteins. These proteins have been linked to improved mental health and increased resilience to stress. That's right, the more we expose ourselves to cold water, the better we may become at coping with life's ups and downs. But remember, while this all sounds enticing, it's important that we approach cold plunging with caution. It's not for everyone, and certainly not without its risks, which we'll discuss in the next scene. The icy waters may be more than just a cool trend, potentially offering a refreshing dip into mental resilience. Cold plunging is believed to be more than a quick chill. It could be a deep dive into building resilience. Now, what does resilience really mean? It's about bouncing back from adversity, standing strong in the face of stress, and maintaining mental well-being even when things get tough. And some suggest that cold plunging might just be the ticket to developing this mental toughness. You see, when you immerse yourself in cold water, you're not just giving your body a jolt. You're also telling your mind that you can handle discomfort. You're training your brain to remain calm under pressure, to stay focused even when the temperature drops. And that's not all. There's also some promising research to back up these claims. Studies suggest that cold plunging might trigger the release of stress hormones and brain chemicals that regulate mood. This could potentially help manage stress levels, keeping you centered and balanced even in the face of adversity. But it's not just about managing stress in the moment. Regular cold plunges might also help improve your ability to cope with stress over time. By repeatedly exposing yourself to the discomfort of cold water, you're conditioning your body and mind to handle stress more effectively. It's a bit like building muscle. The more you work out, the stronger you become. Of course, it's important to note that while there's promising evidence for these wellness benefits, the jury is still out when it comes to treating mental illness. Cold plunging might help build resilience and improve stress management, but it's not a cure-all. It's one tool in a larger toolbox of wellness strategies. So, the next time life turns up the heat, maybe consider taking a cold plunge. It might be uncomfortable at first, but with time, you might find that you're better equipped to handle stress. You might find a sense of calm in the cold, a strength in the shiver. Could this icy immersion be a new frontier in stress management? Like any extreme wellness practice, cold plunging comes with its own set of risks. It's a thrilling experience, no doubt, but it's not without potential downsides. The first and most immediate risk is cold shock. When your body is suddenly exposed to cold water, it can trigger an involuntary gasp reflex, potentially leading to panic and even drowning. It's a very real danger, especially for beginners who might not be prepared for the sudden, intense chill. Additionally, cold plunging can cause a loss of muscular control. The cold temperature can numb your limbs and reduce their dexterity. In practical terms, this means you might struggle to move or get out of the ice bath, especially if you stay in for too long. This risk is why it's so important to always have someone else present when you're cold plunging, just in case you need help. The most serious risk, however, is hypothermia. This is a medical emergency that occurs when your body loses heat faster than it can produce it, causing a dangerous drop in body temperature. Symptoms include shivering, slurred speech, slow breathing, and a weak pulse. If left untreated, hypothermia can lead to heart and respiratory system failure and ultimately, death. With these risks in mind, it's clear that cold plunging should be approached with caution. It's not a practice to be taken lightly. If you're considering trying it, make sure you're in good health. And ideally, do it in a controlled environment with access to medical services. Start with shorter durations in the cold water and gradually increase your exposure as your body adapts. Remember, it's not a competition. It's about improving your well-being, and pushing yourself too hard can do more harm than good. While the benefits are enticing, it's crucial to remember that safety should always be the first consideration. After all, the goal of wellness practices like cold plunging is to enhance your health, not jeopardize it. So, is this icy trend a cold, hard fact or just a frosty fad? This question has been the core of our frosty journey so far. From the rising popularity of ice baths in Singapore to the science behind the chill, we've delved into the icy depths of this intriguing wellness trend. We've learned how these cold plunges are believed to promote mental well-being, with many people reporting feelings of refreshment, increased energy, and enhanced focus post-plunge. The cold water is thought to trigger the release of stress hormones and brain chemicals that regulate mood, potentially building resilience and improving our ability to cope with stress. But as we've seen, it's not all smooth sailing in the chilly waters. There are risks to consider, such as cold shock, loss of muscular control, and hypothermia. While the evidence for the wellness benefits of cold plunging is promising, the case for it aiding in mental illness is less robust. It's crucial then to approach this trend with caution and ideally with access to medical services. So where does this leave us? Well, like many wellness trends, the truth likely lies somewhere between the icy extremes. Cold plunging may well offer some mental health benefits, but it's not a cure-all, and it's certainly not without its dangers. If you're considering taking the plunge, it's vital to be aware of the potential risks and take necessary safety precautions. Whether you're ready to take the plunge or simply intrigued by the idea, it's clear that this chilling trend is making waves in the wellness world. As we continue to navigate the sometimes frosty, sometimes refreshing waters of health and wellness, remember to stay informed, stay safe, and most importantly, stay warm after those icy dips.